Okay. All right, so we're rolling. I'm so glad y'all joined us. So this is just a little recap from convention last week. I know that a lot of you have been on calls and you've been listening to the recaps related to the products. We had some really things roll out, really amazing things, exciting things happening last week with the new Slim being released on Monday and having the new formulated X Factor that's so awesome. And we have all these clinical trials to back our claims. We can speak a little more freely. And we also have I know, thank goodness. We also have the Vital Biome, our new probiotic that is a sister product to complement the ProBio 5, and it is clinically proven to help reduce anxiety and panic disorder. We are so excited about that one as well. But this is going to be about a little bit of different and I just really wanted to talk to you some about the personal development that I was so excited about when we got home. And I think Carrie and Jess and Stephanie will agree. And this won't really have a lot of order to it. I'm just going to go through as I have my notes written down. And I also want to start with why this is important. I don't think there was a single person that we heard from that has been successful with our business or any other business that we did not hear the topic of personal development come up. I really don't think that we can do this without it. I don't think that we can grow in this business or in life or in any business without feeding ourselves and pouring into ourselves. And so, I know that 2 books were recommended to me right when I started this business. Oh my God, not right now. We'll talk about it in a minute. 2 books were recommended to me right when I started this business. I read them right away, and then I sort of shelved my personal development for over a year. I'm just going to be really honest. But if you look at the amount of time that I've been in this business, I'm so grateful for where I am. But, you can tell that there was a period of not a lot of growth. And do you know what was happening? I was not growing. I can't help anyone grow if I'm not doing it myself. And so these 2 books, this one by, Eric Worre called Go Pro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. Can y'all see that?
I read that.
Order this book if you haven't already. Order this book and get started on it. And it sounds like it's probably so dry and so blah, and I promise you, you'll get through it in like 2 days. It's just full of vision. It's full of, why are we here? Why are we doing what we're doing? And what kind of impact can we really make? Like, this is how you feed your brain with stuff like this. And the second one, if you've not done any personal development, if you've not done any reading about network marketing at all, is this by Sarah Robbins. Yep, I'm reading that one too, Jess. How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business. Sarah Robbins is a network marketing superstar. She's super young. I don't know if she's even 30 years old. But she made it to the top of her company as like a 22-year-old and retired from her teaching career. And she just has so much passion and so much vision. And this is a great book to read if you haven't already. So I highly recommend starting with those. And now I'm going to get to the stuff, the more exciting stuff from convention. I just really wanted everybody to understand, and I wish that I myself had taken it more seriously a long time ago. Like, you have got to have someone pouring into you. And we can't have events every week, right? We can't go to Las Vegas and have an amazing convention every week where we're getting spoken to by Les Brown and Carrie Wilkerson. We can't have the opportunity events every week where like corporate is coming to us and showing up, and we leave those things so excited. This is how we feed our brains and stay motivated in the daily grind. So, law of intentionality, that growth doesn't happen automatically. Who knew, right? Who knew that I'm not just going to be super successful because I want it, that I'm actually going to have to do some things that I wouldn't normally do on a daily basis and do it again the next day. So growth is not going to happen automatically. And like you've heard it all before, this business is one that you can work part-time, but not sometimes. Because people see when we're inconsistent. People can sniff out like when we're not confident and when we're kind of flaky. And I'm going to say that I can be a little bit flaky sometimes, but I'm working on it. So the first speaker that I have notes from was Sarah Marble. And some of y'all know Sarah Marble. She's a Diamond Ambassador and just really a self-help superstar, in my opinion. She was a nurse, a night nurse. She has 3 boys. She was one of the first Plexus ambassadors. It took her 7 months to go silver. She started when it was just the breast check kit, and then pretty soon after they introduced the Plexus Slim packets, like you kind of know, only they were little white packets with no label, and it's just like, try this, it works, I think you're going to like it. And that's what advertising was back then. But it took her 7 months to go silver. Then she went to her first convention. And at that time, I think the convention was a few hundred people, like maybe 200 people. And this past convention that we had was 13,000, I believe is the number. But she decided at that convention, like she had been poured into, she caught the vision of the company. She saw that it actually was possible to have success. She and her mom came home and they locked arms and decided, like, we're going to go for this. And it was 6 or 9 months later, Jess, you can help me. I don't know if Carrie's went. 9 months later that she went emerald. So that's pretty rapid growth, you guys. I think most of us know on here, 9 months from silver to emerald, that's rolling through the ranks. But what happened was when she got there, it was like, oh, now what? Like, I wanted this. I wanted every bit of it, but now I kind of don't know what I'm doing, you know? And I think that's where she got to the part about self-development. So hope is what brings you in. Belief is what keeps you there. Personal development is what's going to grow you. She gave us several books that she recommended. And if y'all want to write these down, just tell me to slow down. One of them that I'm going to recommend, and I'll write these in the notes after I post the video, but I really love this one. It's Napoleon Hill's Positive Action Plan. And the thing that I really like about this, I know you're probably already overwhelmed because I've shown you 3 books, but this is one that you have and you use every day, sort of like a devotional. So there are 365 little blurbs. See, there was day 1. And it gives you like the trait of the character you're trying to like develop within yourself. And then it gives you action steps. So something measurable for you to do in that day. And so it sticks that way. And they're really good. They're really simple. The first one, and this is like, oh, Kelly, he's talking to you. Dependability is the first foundation stone of good character. People of character do what they say they will do when they say they will do it, and according to agreed upon conditions. They are the leaders, the individuals to whom others turn for guidance because they have demonstrated that they care and that they can be trusted. If you respect yourself enough to keep commitments, even when it's inconvenient to do so, others will come to respect you. And there's a little bit more, but it gives you like measurable action steps to take around developing this certain skill. And I think it's wonderful. Sarah said she's been through this book like for 7 years now, every day. So I'm thinking she's on to something. Another one that she recommended is called The Go-Giver. And you can just write these down for later. It's going to take you a long time to read all these books. Just start somewhere. Mail out the samples. Mail out the samples. Yes, mail out the samples. Carrie, that's just what I'm talking about. So when that book was talking about being consistent, I know that a lot of you see, we'll make videos and we'll do drawings, and you might be at a place where you feel like you're stuck in your business and that you've run through your whole 100 list, your Frank's list a million times, and you're getting nothing back and nobody's interested and this isn't working. And then all of a sudden you decide that you're going to give something away free, and people come out of the woodworks. I want to try it. Put me down. All of a sudden you've got a new list to work from, and people really are excited. I say this all the time, but I had 30 new people comment yesterday on this giveaway that I was doing, and you can bet that those 30 people are going to be hearing from me. So a few more books that she mentioned, if you just want to write these down. Millionaire by Halftime. Jess has a good one there. Sarah Marble didn't mention it, but it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. So good. That one's so good. There's one, Flip Flop CEO. And a lot of these are super quick, like you get through them in a day. There's one called Switch On Your Brain. It's how to start thinking differently and talking to yourself differently. I don't want y'all to get bogged down in thinking you've got to do all of this right now. This is just for future use. I know Sarah did a talk for us a few months ago, and we just were really like, what do you do? Tell us what you do and what you feed your brain with, because that's what we're going to do. And so she shared 4-year career was one. And we're going to keep going now. And she did say that 5 to 10 minutes of personal development needs to be part of your practice every day. I'm just going to go through some of the notes now quickly. She says, in your inner circle, take a look at your inner circle and the people that you are spending time with, the people that influence you on a daily basis. Your friends should inspire you. And I've read this so many times just in the past few days since convention. Spend time with the people that have a positive mental attitude. It's PMA, positive mental attitude, because that's contagious. And people should lift you up. It's hard to lift everybody else up, but you need to be thinking about those relationships you're investing in. Growth thrives in a conducive surrounding. And then we also heard from several of the diamonds that as they started experiencing more success in the business, that your inner circle has to be kept really tight. And it becomes about quality of relationship over quantity of relationships. And I think that's really important, y'all. I mean, we have so many influences happening and we live life at breakneck speed. We can't invest in any and everybody anymore. Some of my best friends in life are on this call right now, and they're the people that, I do life with on a daily basis. And just start thinking about those relationships. So the other thing that she said, and it's very simple, but this just stuck with me. She said, you have to get into action, period. You have to get into action. You do it afraid, you do it imperfect, but progress happens through practice. So what happened after Sarah and her mama went to that first convention and came home so inspired? Oh, I thought you were showing who came home so inspired. They committed then to having Monday night opportunity events every week. So you bring a friend, and every week we're going to meet right here and we're going to present these products and this opportunity. I'll be here next week too. You can't come that week, well, I'll be here the next. And that's how their business exploded. But they had to have a plan. They had to get into action. Did they know if it was going to work or not? No. But we constantly change, we constantly adapt. But we've got to get moving. She says, step through opportunity and embrace it. And I wrote here that we have to become unattached to the outcome of each individual action that we take. So we're looking at the bigger picture and not getting just bogged down in, that didn't work, I'm done. I tend to take myself out really quickly. And I'm so thankful that I've been able to work through that a little bit, because in the past, just a little bit of resistance would have been enough to just make me turn and run, you know. Turning 40 has a way of making you grow up. I'm like a legit adult now. Like I'm legit now, you know.
Kelly, I want to expand on that real fast.
Uh-huh.
When you're talking about being unattached to the outcome, that goes a lot with your mindset and your personal growth as well. If you get those negative thoughts and negative mindset out of your head, a lot of that naturally happens with you. Like when you're going for the no, like we talk about that a lot, like send your messages, reach out to, 50 people in a day and go for the no. You can do that if you're not attached to the mindset that, oh, they're just going to tell me no, or, oh, I sent out 50 messages today and I got 50 no's. Like, that's okay, because those 50 no's are 50 seeds planted that weren't planted yesterday that will eventually turn into something. So just keep that in mind whenever you're thinking, when you're sending these messages and you're doing it afraid. Me and Lori talk about that a lot, doing it afraid. Just think about the bigger picture and what's going to come from this no message that you just got. If they weren't watching you before, they're going to start watching you now. And then it's eventually going to grow into something. So I just wanted to throw that in.
Yes, I think it's wonderful because, Sarah Marble has failed. She has tried and she's failed, and she has strengths and weaknesses. And the thing that I thought was so beautiful is looking at this big picture of people that have been really successful. And, our measures of success are different, but people who are very successful come from all different walks of life and all different backgrounds. There are people among us, Andrea Mitchell will tell you, Julia Carty will tell you, I don't really know how the products work. I can find somebody to talk to you about that, but I think they're good and I like them. And they're diamonds, and it's worked for them. They know that things, we all have our strengths. We don't have to know everything, and we don't have to be good at everything. And that's what I really liked. So Sarah Marble said there are 10 ways to be successful, or 10 ways to get to the next level. And I'll run through these if you just want it for a visual. I wish I had made a PowerPoint, but oh God, let's be honest. I mean, I don't know if I really know how to do that. The first one is consistency. That's showing up on a daily basis. That's being an active, being involved with our social media, but being involved in FaceTime with other people. It's just consistency. Number 2 is mindset. It's training your brain. It's feeding your brain. It's setting those positive affirmations. Number 3 is vision. We talk about this a lot, and this was a stumbling block for me until last week. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to be successful in this business, but like thinking about my why has always been a stumbling block. Yeah, I mean, I know there are things I want and things that I would like to do, but you have to have your mind set on a destination, or you're never going to get there. You have to visualize reaching that spot, or you're not going to just find yourself there. Like, you almost have to embody success and reaching the level that you're going before it's ever going to happen. You can't get where you're going unless you know where that is, right? I mean, it's simple. Hard work is number 4. 5 is personal growth. 6 is attitude. 7 is having a long-term plan. 8 is prayer. I'm going to say that I don't know if these are ordered in terms of importance. I think that this is just out there. 9 is belief. And 10 is accountability. But it's been said that personal development is 90% of the equation. Like, all of us on this call, we already believe in the products, or we wouldn't be here. We've seen what the products can do. We see the potential in the business. We've seen that. We know it's possible. So now, what are we going to do with that? So, who gave us this affirmation? I attract in my life whatever I give my attention, energy, and focus to, whether positive or negative. I forgot who told us that, but
I don't know, but will you repeat it slower so I can write it down?
Yes. I attract in my life whatever I give my attention, energy, and focus to, whether positive or negative. I attract in my life whatever I give my attention, energy, and focus to, whether positive or negative. I'm going to tell you who is the queen of this, and I have watched her take off. Y'all want to say it together? Jen Wolfe.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, absolutely.
It's all about, and it's not just the, what is the book? The Law of Attraction. It's not, what is it? It's about the law of attraction, but it's almost about, what is that book, that new agey thing?
I have it. It's the 21 Laws of Leadership, but one of the laws in there is the law of attraction.
Okay. And so a few questions we were asked are, spend some time thinking about, like, who am I? Who am I? What do I represent? What does my life represent, and what am I standing for? And so, it was said, like, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a God-fearing daughter, and I want to see people healthy and thriving. That's what I am looking to manifest. And I don't know who said this, if it was Sarah Marble or Michelle Thomas, but she said, people want to get into your life. Have you noticed how we've aligned ourselves with certain people that we're attracted to, whether it's Celeste or Sarah Marble or Rachel Rogers, or we just find these people that we like the way that they do things. We believe in them. But people, like, we want to get into those people's lives. We want to peek in that window and just get an idea of who this person is. And she said, we are attracted to three things. Smart, people that are smart in some way, not every way. Like, I'm only smart in a couple of ways. Smart, funny, like, we like funny people. So be funny, be light, self-deprecating sometimes. And educated. So smart, funny, and educated. About those things that we're passionate about. And that's what you want to show, like on your social media page. When you're showing people who you are, it needs to be more than just plexus. And I think all of us here know that. Change your attitude. Your attitude is a choice. And then think about, am I a person who builds other people up? Do people feel better after leaving an interaction with me than they felt before? Because we want to leave people standing in their power and feeling hopeful and feeling like healthy and whole and not depleted after being with us. So I just had to start thinking, like, what do people feel? How do I make people feel? Let me see. I said that. Who am I? What do I represent? Okay. Michelle Thomas said this. So she's like, I walk around my life. I'm a homeschool mama of, I think it was 3 kids. My husband and I both work from home. I walk around with yoga pants and looking busted all the time. But once she started to reach a certain level, like maybe Emerald, she realized, hey, I need to be presentable. I need to be ready to prospect. I need to be presentable. And it just takes a little extra care. Just take a little extra care of myself, a little more thought about how I'm stepping out, maybe a little mascara and lip gloss. It goes a long way. Another question that was asked, I know that there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to this. This was just things like, if it was something, I was scribbling it down. I think it was Helen McFadden asked, what are you willing to do for 5 years to achieve great success? What if it took you 5 years of putting your head down and working your hiney off? What if it took you 5 years to get to Emerald? Would that be worth it to you? But if what you're investing your time and energy in right now, it should be worth you spending 5 years just gritting it out. And sometimes that's how long it takes. You guys, what we see from a lot of our leaders is like the unicorn of Plexus, you know, and it's possible. But it made me start thinking, you know, I'm willing to do this for 5 years. I love what I'm doing. I already feel like I'm successful. I just have to stop measuring my success by other people's walks. Okay, the speed of the leader builds the speed of the team. This is more leadership stuff. Lead by example. The cream will rise. So you keep showing up and the people will come. And don't put your future in the hands of your team. Like, we're always hoping for that runner. We're always hoping for that rock star. But we have to be our own rock star, and over and over and over again. So we're not waiting for that miracle to happen, okay? We are the miracle. Build your foundation. Okay, Les Brown told this story, and I loved this story. He may have been the one that said, what are you willing to do for 5 years to achieve great success? He told the story of a bamboo tree. So after a bamboo tree or sprout or bulb is planted, it takes that bamboo tree 5 years to break the surface of the ground. But then in 9 months, it grows. How many feet, Jess? Jen? Anybody? It's not really important. It grows freaking big. Okay. 90 feet in 9 months. It takes 5 years to break the ground, but it grows 90 feet in 9 months. So the question was, did it only take 9 months for that tree to grow? Or did it really take 5 years and 9 months? So sometimes what you're working on so hard is not going to come into fruition for a very long time, but it will. And the only way that you're not going to be successful is if you quit. The only way that you won't be successful is if you quit. That's a sure way to fail. It talks a lot about thinking about your vision, but not just thinking about your vision, speaking your vision. So speaking your vision to your friends, speaking your vision to your team, talking about that together, that it's really important. And I'm going to tell you all on my team, I have not done a good job with this, and that's about to change. We are going to start dreaming big in this team. Les Brown talked about, people do not set their aspirations high enough. Like, we might have dreams, but we can accomplish like 100 times more than that, but we shoot too low. So we're going to start shooting a little bit higher around here. Like, I'm doing it for myself, but I want us to do it together. Okay, I can skip that. Helen McFadden said that a perfect Plexus day, and we rarely have a perfect day in life, but a perfect Plexus day would be about a 2.5 hour day. And I'm just going to run through what she says that looks like. So an hour of our 3-2-1, that's where we're growing our own personal business. That's where we're reaching out to new people. That's where we're following up. 10 minutes of affirmations. 30 minutes on social media. You might have to set up productive social media. You might have to set a timer for that. I know one tip Carrie is she just uses Messenger. So when she goes to Facebook in the morning to get her day done, she just uses the Messenger portion. Yep, Jen is a good example of 90 feet to 6 months. She's going Emerald this month. She is a great example of that. I get sidetracked. What is that talking about? Where was that? Oh, okay. 30 minutes of productive social media. So Carrie just uses the Messenger. Like, she has her plan laid out for the day, and she just messages without going through the rabbit hole of Facebook, 20 minutes of team connect. If you have one person under you, that's a team. And 30 minutes of self-development. If it is to be It's up to me. I wish I wrote down who said that. If it is to be, it's up to me. We were told develop as a leader, not a manager. Duplication in this business is about keeping things simple. And it reminded me of this story. Most of you all know Bridget Ryan. She's a mama, homeschool mama of 6. She went diamond in a year. She said one time that she does a lot of events. She believes in events and getting in front of people. She doesn't show up at these events with these elaborate PowerPoint presentations. She shows up just herself, and she goes to talk to people because she wants everybody there to know that just what she's doing, they can do. And we want to keep it simple. You've heard it, keep it simple, stupid, like keep it simple. This business is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Never give up on your team. Never give up on your dream. Create a vision for your team. Be your team and your customers' biggest cheerleaders. Like you are there to just buoy them up, and that's your job. Okay, switching gears. This is a totally different person. The 4 G's of success. I don't know how many of you know Tara Lee Berger. She just went Sapphire. I think she lives in Ohio. She has gone through the ranks in like the past 2 years maybe. She was one of the people that was on the test group for the new Slim, and she looks incredible, like amazing. But the 4 G's to success, she calls it. Number 1 is grit. Number 2 is grace. I wish I could elaborate on these. I don't really remember, but I think you can make up your own. Number 3 is grind. Number 4 is God, and probably reverse the order. So, on the last day, the very last speaker, and I don't think that my life will ever be the same after listening to this man speak. Les Brown may be the most inspiring person I've ever heard. He starts by saying, I am entering, and he wanted us to repeat after him, I am entering a higher call in life, he says. I'm entering a higher call in life. I'm living from my faith instead of my fears. Les was orphaned as an infant with his twin brother. He was adopted and raised by a mama who I think adopted 7 children total. She worked as a cook for very affluent families, and so they were always in these big elaborate homes, and the kids got the leftovers of all the food that she would make for these families, and they got hand-me-down clothes. But he loved his mama. He was a mama's boy, and all he ever wanted in his life, his why, was to be able to buy her a home one day, and one where she would feel like Mrs. Rockefeller. So that was his motivation behind his success. And he was labeled when he was a child as, I forget the label he used, but basically, what is a nicer word for, basically he was mentally handicapped. Like he could not learn. He was the dumb twin. He was labeled as the dumb twin. And his life changed when he was in high school, and he had a high school teacher tell him, you are not defined by what other people think of you. And who you are is not defined by what other people have said you are, basically. And it changed his life. He says there is something in each of us that waits for the genuine. He says you, and this is for each of you, if I could look in your eyes, like you have greatness in you. And I hope like he made us like receive that. You have greatness within you that most people shoot too low, but that the dreams we have and the desires of our heart are a divine planting. That was not of our own accord. That was given to us as our purpose. He says, tell people that you love them. Tell people that you appreciate them. Tell people that they are here to make a difference. Tell them that you see greatness in them and you believe that to be true for yourself. I posted on our team page the other day, Les Brown speaking at the Georgia Dome. It's about a 30-minute talk. He said you go home and listen to that, download it on YouTube, listen to it every day if you need to until you've met success. I've listened to it a couple of times. I'm not diamond yet, but I'm going to keep listening.
Interrupt you real quick, Kelly.
What? Yeah, I'm sorry, Carrie. I couldn't hear you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I just wanted you to repeat what he said about the genuineness.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because he said that so fast I couldn't write it down. But that was my favorite thing he said.
Yes. There is something in each of us that waits for the genuine.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. He says, make no your vitamin. Make hearing the word no your vitamin. Let it empower you. Every no brings you closer to a yes. Y'all, all this personal development, you're going to hear it over and over and over again. I think it's important. Successful people have heard no more than all of us on this page put together. Make no your vitamin. He was like, saying P stands for plexus, like he was about to go through plexus and every word meant something, but I don't think we ever got past the P. If y'all know, if we did, then you tell me. But he said P stands for passion. Speak from your heart. Speak from your heart. We don't have to be perfect, but how does this make you feel? He says, the question is, when will you live your dream? When will you live your dream? And he says, when you live it. So now, like I'm living my dream now. All of the outcome hasn't caught up to me now, but I feel that I'm living my dream right now. And he made me realize that, you know. He says we're made in the image of God. We each have power we have yet to access. And there are some scriptures. So it is he who works in me to will and to act according to his great purpose. I forgot. I just jotted that down because it made me think. And I can do all things through him who gives me strength. He says, when does a man or a woman die? And that's when their dreams die. But here's the thing you've got to think about with a lot of people that tell you no, a lot of people that aren't inspired in the same way you are, is that a lot of people, you've heard that I was not born to pay my bills and die. But there are a lot of people that are never going to step out of their comfort zone. There are a lot of people that are never going to catch a vision. And there are a lot of people who are just settled into mediocrity. But that's not what we're doing here, right? We're changing people's lives. And it's as simple as that. I'm going to let one of the other girls tell you a story that Tarl shared in a minute. I told you the story about the band. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Did you, I don't know if you said this or not, but he was saying to tell your story. And
yes.
I don't know if you remember Super Saturday, I forget her name, but she was talking about how to be a storyteller, that people love to hear a story. Mm-hmm. And if anything, when you're talking to someone, you know, just tell a story. And eventually it's going to lead to plexus. I mean, I know mine always do. It doesn't matter what my story is. The ending is always something about plexus. Whether I'm talking about, I just got off the phone with Kelly. She's my teammate in plexus, or, I just got back from a trip in Vegas for my plexus convention. It always comes up, but telling a story is so important because people love it. I mean, telling a story about your grandma and then leading into it, they just love it. And also, I don't know if you said this one, but and this tied into his mom and what she did, but providing more service than you get paid for.
Yeah, I'm not yet. Mm-hmm.
So, serving others, if you're serving others, you're going to reap the benefits no matter what. Whether you're serving them, in Plexus or just helping them in any area of life, you're going to get, you'll reap the benefits. But providing more service than you get paid for is where it's at.
Yes. He said you have to be willing to do. I'm going to start going through this quick, because I know we've been on here for a long time, and I'm so sorry. When I started planning this, I was thinking, I hope I can talk for 5 minutes, and I'm sorry we're on the phone still, but we have to be willing to do the things that others won't do, to have the things that others don't have. Y'all heard that? How true is it? You have the ability to do more than you will ever begin to achieve. We must live our lives from a place of gratitude. He says, get to know people, compliment them, tell your story, and let them know why you are passionate. If you're not willing to take a risk, you can't grow. He says, upgrade your relationships. We heard that all through convention. Be willing to serve and do what others won't do. Provide more service than you get paid for. Like Carrie was saying, provide more than you're getting paid for. And I think that, like the 7-day challenges that we do sometimes, the reason that works so well, and it's not that much of a sacrifice for us, is because we're giving people a whole lot in that 7 days. It's a whole lot of support, a whole lot of education, and I think that's kind of goes along these lines. He says you got to be hungry. When you want some success, you got to be hungry. And the people that are working with you need to be hungry. People that are hungry do what they know and not what they feel, he says. Hold the vision of your dreams. Give before you ask. Give people a service before you're asking something back of them. He says tough times don't last, but tough people do. If you're going through hell, keep on going, he says. Y'all heard that. He said the greatest day of your life is the day that you were born and the day you figured out why. Mark Twain. You are as good as anyone. You let this sink in for just a second, that you are as good as anyone. You're as good as anyone. You're better than no one. Do good, love well. I just added that in. Do good, love well. And I read something this morning. Unless the Lord builds a house, its builders labor over it in vain. So I'm just going to close out by saying this. And Carrie said this to me right after I started, but she said, every day I pray over my business, I pray over my team, but it goes more like, praying for God to bring the right people to you. And I've always had a hard time praying for a blessing, but I always prayed, like, let this be a blessing to whoever it touches. And in whatever way that looks like to you, let this be a blessing. I was going to pray us out, work like it depends on you, pray like it depends on him. And that is the truth. That is the truth. Being able to tell your story increases your credibility and strengthens your brand. Be willing to sacrifice. It's worth it. It's better to have an opportunity and be prepared than be prepared and not have an opportunity. That's so true. Does anybody want to add anything else? I know I've kept y'all for a while. I hope that some of this landed. You guys understand this was like 3 days worth of stuff, and just that I was fervently jotting down. I just was hoping that some of that excitement could translate, across the computer to y'all today. But I think what my takeaway was, any of us can do this. Like, I really believe that now. And I don't believe that it's easy, but I believe that if you want to be here, I believe that it's possible. And I'm just excited about that. Did anybody have anything they wanted to say or questions?
Yeah, I want to say something real fast. I raised my hand, so let me lower my hand back down. I love doing that. It irritates, like when Rachel and Leslie are on the call, it irritates them so bad. It's so funny. Okay, so I think Helen McFadden said this. She said, you lead a volunteer army. And that like set with me so well, because like our team and the people that we recruit and, you know, bring on to our teams and stuff like that, they don't have to be here for you. They don't have to follow you. And the word volunteer there just stuck out to me so bad. Excuse me. Because that's right. Because they're like, we each, like, it's our business, but we still have our team and stuff like that. And so you have to make them want to be with you and do this with you. And, you know, and like Kelly was saying, you know, breathe belief into them, you know, show them your passion, share your dreams with them, have them share their dreams with you, and make them want to be a part of this, because then that's going to help set them up for better success that way, knowing that they have you on their side, which I think we all do a really good job of that anyway. But just make sure we're doing it individually with everybody and not just as a whole with the team as well. You know, pour love into them and stuff like that, and make them want to do this, and breathe belief into them and stuff like that. So that was one thing I had over here that stuck out to me.
Yes, and he said that sometimes you have to be willing to believe in someone long enough until they can believe in themselves. And that's what was done for him. You have to believe in someone and be their legs until they can believe in themselves. And one other thing that I wrote down and I didn't share, you have to be willing to die to who you are to become the person that you want to be. So that's going to be different for everybody. I know that took on one meaning for me, but I'm not going to, I think that's a very personal, Philippians 2. Ashley, you're going to have to, I feel like I should know that. Let the old you die. That's hard because it tries to keep coming back to life. I mean, we try to resurrect the dead with some of that. I'm like putting the stake in, and then here it comes. You know, here comes that old doubt, and here comes the fear, and here comes the, oh gosh, what am I doing? Who am I to be here? You know, it comes back, and you have to bury it again. Did I miss any? Ashley, what is Philippians 2:13? Will you type that out for me so I won't miss that? I feel like I should know that. I don't want to miss it.
One more thing, Kelly, the little book that we got, you guys, this is in your back office and you can find it. I think it's in the Success on Demand. We got the actual handout, but it lays out for you. Like, here's a section for 90-day goals. Let me move my cup here. And then it lays out like your first 30 days, your first 60 days. And then my favorite part, what you need to do to get to silver, what you need to do to get to gold, senior gold, but it lays it out. Like, it just gives you things like level 1 needs. You need 3 silver ambassadors on your level 1s. Level 2 needs a total of 9 ambassadors on your level 2. 3 of them are silver ambassadors. That gives you 45 points. Level 3 needs total of 9 ambassadors. That's 45 points. It literally lays this out for you line by line, what you need to do, what going ruby looks like. Like, here's ruby, senior ruby. It lays it out for you all the way up to emerald. And there's sapphire, there's diamond.
Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. So you guys skim through this. We got the hard copy, but the digital copy is in your back office. So take some time and kind of skim through that. There's some incredible, incredible stuff in here.
If everybody's ready, you read it earlier. Oh, for it is God who works in you to will and act in order to fulfill his good purpose. Okay. I was like, I think I know that one. All right. So I'm going to pray us out unless anybody has anything else. Okay, Lord, thank you for such a wonderful convention last week. Thank you for such an amazing opportunity. Thank you that we get to link arms with one another and do this thing. Thank you for these servants' hearts that are here, Father. And I pray, Lord, that with everything that we do, that we will just be so upstanding and have integrity that nobody will ever be able to doubt, Lord, that we will be lights shining in this world for you, that you will bring people into our lives that need the healing that these products offer, that need the freedom that this company brings. And Lord, just help us, empower us, and Lord, give us a vision beyond just our own wants and needs, but a vision to serve humanity and leave a legacy long after we are gone. Lord, help us believe for more, and we just love you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you all for being on. What was I thought would be 5 minutes has turned into an hour. But y'all have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.